One thing that I think makes some property owners a little bit nervous is, like you said, some of these programs can be kind of longer term. Um, what happens if a property owner wants to get out of a carbon credit contract or a program that they're in? And that's question one. And then question two: how do these programs work if someone was to sell their property in the future, or if they were to buy a property with one of these on? It's kind of a two pronged question there, but I think they're kind of linked together.
Yep, but both really important questions, and the answer again is it depends. Different programs have different termination restrictions. Some of them you gotta there's like major penalties for that. And often the encumbrance is either on title, or I mean, it's very difficult to like escape from some of these long-term things, and that's one of the big considerations that landowners have is, do I want to burden my grandkids with this? If I still got 20 years on the clock on this carbon contract, and I pass this on to the next generation and they want to sell the land, suddenly have I like dramatically negatively impacted the sale price of this property because it now has this encumbrance on it. Those are all really important considerations for landowners thinking about this. And in fact, there's one of the emerging areas for the contract law in this field. It has to do with some of the certification requirements because actually behind the scenes, a lot of these carbon certification bodies in their standard require 100-year terms. And the landowners aren't seeing 100-year terms. They're signing contracts that say things like 20 years or 40 years or 60 years or something. And so the question is like, okay, well, what happens? Who's on the hook? Does the landowner, is there some sort of like shadow encumbrance on this property, like that has actually reset their baseline for any future carbon projects? And this is a thing that we're still trying to fully run down at NCX, but as far as I can tell, the answer actually seems to be yes, which is a big problem for landowners. Having these sort of shadow encumbrances on their natural capital rights beyond the actual contracts that they've signed. It's just like, it's such a weird world because it interfaces with certification, because there's not physical delivery of these products like in timber markets. So again, this is just another aspect of these natural capital markets that landowners need to be thinking about as they make decisions that affect their land for potentially very long periods of time.